This is Rafi Chaudhary, and today I'm going to teach you guys just a few things that you can do today to become a stronger chess player. So I'll just tell you a little bit about my own experiences with chess. I've been playing. I started playing when I was 12 years old. Didn't really know anything about chess tournaments and things like that until maybe I was about 15 or 16 years old. Until then, I was just playing chess by myself against my computer, against family members, friends at school, and things like that. And I participated in a couple of underrated chess tournaments. At the age of 16, I went into a 15 actually, I went into a local chess club and I realized, wow, there's a lot more to do with chess than just to kind of sit there and play at home. So I kind of dived into chess, and since then I've done a lot of stuff with chess. I've played in lots of national tournaments, even an international tournament. Um, got to a USCF rating of close to 1900, and then I kind of started doing a lot of chess coaching, tournament directing, and things of that nature. And now I own my own chess company. It's actually a really cool program that teaches students about chess and leadership and entrepreneurship at the same time. So anyway, that's a little bit about myself. So what can you do today to become a better chess player tomorrow? Um, the first thing is definitely to kind of analyze your own games. I think that's one of the most important things that people forget to do a lot of times is just learn from your own mistakes. If there are certain patterns that you see that are happening in your game regularly, see what you can do to identify those patterns, identify those mistakes, because chances are you're probably making those same mistakes over and over in every game. Um, that's probably one of the biggest things I would say is to go back and analyze your own games very carefully and write down things that you think might be consistently making mistakes on. The second thing is uh, to actually rely really heavily on is not to rely really heavily on chess engines to analyze your game. The engines might be telling you what the best move in a position is, but really you have to kind of do that thinking for yourself. Um, so figure out what positions are you familiar with, what positions do you like to play, and try to steer every one of your games towards those positions. And don't really worry too much about the computer is saying and about your position. Just kind of focus on understanding the principles behind each position and then kind of applying them as a general rule of thumb, and then figuring out all the tactics and things like that behind it. If you can get to a good habit of doing that, you're gonna see your chess game improving very quickly. Don't focus on calculating. I don't really calculate much in my games even. Just focus on broad general principles. Stick to opening principles. Stick to general and middle game principles. Things of that nature. The third thing I would say is I think the biggest thing people make mistakes on is when they don't know really what to do in a position, they start to um, make moves that might just worsen your position. But don't do that. If you don't think there is much to do to improve your position, then just sit there and wait for your opponent to make a mistake. That's kind of how Magnus Carlsen plays chess. I think he just kind of gets a really good position and then just sits there and waits for the opponent to make a mistake, and he capitalizes off of that. So with that being said, what I like to advise my students is that what you can do is if you're ever in a position where you're just stuck and you don't really know what to move, ask yourself one of two questions. First, ask yourself, what's my worst place piece, and how can I improve that piece? So if you think the piece rook is on h1 and not doing anything, see if you can move it to a square where it's actually doing something. Ask that for every single piece on the board. Make sure that it's optimized to the best square possible. And this is primarily for the middle game. Um, and also, the second question you can ask yourself when you don't know what to move is figure out ask yourself, what are my opponent's weaknesses and how can I attack those weaknesses? And if there aren't any weaknesses, how can I create some weaknesses and then attack those weaknesses? Um, and so what that means is basically figuring out what are some areas where your opponent might be weak. Is it like maybe a doubled pawn? Does he have maybe an open king that you can attack? Does he have pieces that are just not really well coordinated that you can kind of tie him up to make his pieces even less coordinated? Things like that, and see if you can figure out what those problems are that your opponent is having, and kind of start to hammer in on those. The better you can do that, um, the the more psychological advantage you'll really have, because ultimately chess is a game, at least I like to think, is a game composed of three things: psychology, philosophy, and economics. So if you can psychologically put your put pressure on your opponent, I think you're always going to have an upper edge. Another thing you can do is there's lots of really good chess learning tools out there on the internet. Use some of them. So for chess playing, I think the best website out there is ICC, which stands for Internet Chess Club. Um, and you can use ICC to do, I mean, you can essentially play anyone in the world. There are lots of grandmasters playing on there at any given moment. There is a membership fee. You have to pay for ICC yearly membership fee, but I think it's totally worth the money if you play on a regular basis. And ICC nowadays also does regularly. I think they're hosting some on Monday nights. They're hosting some USCF rated tournaments even, so that's a big plus. Um, so I would use ICC to play, and then for learning, I would use definitely chess.com. By far the best learning chess service out there, um, and it has also it has some really good and strong players as well, but it's more for learning. There's lots of videos you can watch on ICC or chess.com from grandmasters, masters, any kind of chess theme you can imagine. There's probably videos on it. There's hundreds of them. You can play tournaments on there. There's a really cool. Two of my favorite features actually of chess.com are. Well, my most favorite is a video feature, definitely. The lectures really help a lot. Then there's a tactics trainer you can do on chess.com that's really helpful. And it actually gives you a rating, and the problem has a rating as well. So when you solve the problem, this problem's rating goes down and your rating goes up. And other people get to also kind of, quote, play against that problem. And if they solve it, problem's rating is dropped down. So it kind of gives you a good um, estimate of how well your tactics are. Another thing you can use on chess.com is called Chess Mentor, which is very useful because it's almost like it plays out all these scenarios. It gives you a position and gives you all these long paragraphs explaining each component of the position, kind of walking you through it. And it's a really nice feature, really, and it can really help you understand a lot of chess tactical themes. So it's definitely a good investment, I think. Chess.com is a free site again, but you can get on chess.com, play, and watch maybe a few lectures and that kind of stuff. But if you really want the good content, you're gonna have to pay the membership fee, which again, I don't think it's too much money considering how much you really get out of it. This is only if you're regularly using these sites and really looking to get a lot of value from it. So I would use that. And perhaps the biggest, most important thing you can do to improve your chess game is to play chess. And that means whenever you can, wherever you can, tournaments. If you want your rating to go up, you actually have to play rated chess. A lot of people expect they can just sit at home all day, read some books, and their ratings will go up. It doesn't really work that way because chess is knowledge and application. So if you have the knowledge and you don't have any way to apply that knowledge, you're not really going to be able to increase your rating. So one of the most important things you can do is play chess, and that means playing online and playing over the board, whatever fits your taste better, I guess. For me, I used to play Blitz a lot, and Blitz helps, but I think that you get a lot more from playing maybe about 15-minute games, which are really great for training purposes. So I would definitely, if you use ICC, try the ICC 15-minute training button. You can do that to play 15-minute games, or even on chess.com you can do that. You can use free internet chess server. That's also a really good server to play some longer games if you want. So play regularly and study at the same time. Study books. Like I said, use these training tools I talked about. And try to go to as many tournaments as you possibly can. I know it can get kind of expensive traveling for tournaments, but try to see if you can play maybe some local tournaments. My city I know isn't the best for a lot of big chess tournaments, but if you live in a bigger city, it shouldn't be that difficult to find lots of tournaments to attend. Um, and besides that, analyzing your games, learning using these online tools and books and things like that are available, and playing regularly, you'll start to immediately see a lot of improvement in your chess games. And anytime you can, analyze with your friends, other chess buddies, talk to them, solve puzzles. That's a big one. Solve puzzles as much as you can, tactic puzzles, whatever it is. Just constantly be doing those, because chess ultimately is a game of pattern recognition. The more patterns you've seen, the better you're going to be able to find those patterns in your actual game. And calculate. Learn how to calculate deeply. That's also something that lots of chess players, even me, I'm pretty lazy in chess. I hate calculating, which is why that part of my game really sucks. Maybe if I'd gotten better at that, I would have gotten better at chess. But see if you can calculate it. How deeply can you calculate? Test yourself on that while applying the principles. Just kind of remembering that, tactics are slave to strategy. So if you have a good strategy, good position, tactics will tend to naturally favor you. Besides that, yeah, if you follow these general principles, you should be able to get to a pretty decent level in chess. I mean, any chess player is capable of getting to maybe 18, 1900, 2000 level, as long as you're willing to put some effort into it and do the work. If you did all these things regularly for maybe a year or so, even most chess players can probably get to about at least 1800, 1900 level. It's not that hard at all. So yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to email me, shoot me a message on here, and the links below in the description below. I'll leave the links for the chess websites and things like that I mentioned in the video. So thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoy the video, and I wish you the best of luck in your chess mastery, your goals in chess. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye.